And once again, good evening, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don back in with you. 7:44 Central, 8:44 Eastern on your Thursday, April 10th, 2025. Severe weather as we have some strong thunderstorms moving through portions of Alabama and Georgia. National Weather Service is warning the folks there in northern Carroll County that some very strong wind is currently moving into northern Carroll County. This is outflow from the storm that is sitting just to the north of I-20. So you folks in Carrollton and all across the northern reaches of Carroll County, heads up. It's about to get pretty windy, if not already at your location there in Carroll County. Now, the eastern sections of Carroll County are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And let me see if I can get that pulled up right quick. And I'll read it to you. Severe thunderstorm warning issued at about 10 minutes or so ago. Severe thunderstorm warning for southern Paulding County, for Haralson County, eastern Carroll County, southwestern Cobb, Douglas County, north central Coweta, southwestern Fulton, and southeastern Polk County, in effect until 9:15, so about another 30 minutes or so on that warning. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail will be possible with this particular thunderstorm. Again, that's a heads up for you folks in Carroll County, a pretty strong outflow boundary from that part of the storm that's still up in Paulding County, but that outflow boundary is making it down into northern Carroll County at this hour. We also still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for, this is in Alabama, Colbert, Coleman, DeKalb, Franklin, Jackson, Lauderdale, Lawrence, Limestone, Madison, Marshall, and Morgan County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for Calhoun, Cleburne, and Talladega in east central Alabama. And that is going to be for this stuff that's setting just north of I-20 that is moving to the east-southeast. I'm just not 100% positive that makes it down into the I-20 corridor, but we'll watch it and see. Now, one thing I am noticing, you can clearly see the outflow boundary from these storms, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You'll notice this green line that stretches a long way from just south of Raglan over to Gardendale and then all the way back up to near Jasper. That's an outflow boundary. And so along that outflow boundary, you could have some 40, 50-mile-per-hour winds that could certainly bring down some trees and power lines. And that outflow boundary is definitely moving to the southeast. And it will continue to move in this general direction. So places like Birmingham, Pell City, Leeds, back over toward Anniston, Oxford will deal, if nothing else, you'll definitely deal with this outflow boundary from this storm that's sitting up just north of Raglan. And so that's part of the reason why they're issuing that severe thunderstorm warning now for northern Talladega, northern Clay, and all of Cleburne and Calhoun. This does not get down into Randolph County just yet. So I'll zoom back out, and we'll see that we have a special weather statement now that's been issued for the rest of Talladega and back into Jefferson, Shelby, and back into West Alabama. That's for that boundary, that outflow boundary that'll be shifting down to the south in the next hour or so. Big storms continue over here in Georgia. The question was asked a few moments ago if the Braves are going to get to finish their game. Probably not. We've got lots of rain in the area, and then that heavy thunderstorm just west of Atlanta that's moving east, southeast. Maybe will clip downtown and the southern parts of Atlanta, though with that last volume update, it looks like it's grown a little bit to the north. So now it looks like it's probably going to cover the entire Atlanta metropolitan area. Special weather statement now for Walker, Tuscaloosa, Jefferson, Shelby, St. Clair, Talladega, Clay, Bibb. And that, again, is going to be for that outflow boundary. Let me get the verbiage pulled up here, and I'll read it to you. Special weather statement is issued at 7:48 p.m. by the National Weather Service. At 7:47 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking an outflow boundary with gusty winds along a line extending from near Riverdale to Fultondale to 6 miles northwest of Oakman. Movement was to the south at 40 miles per hour. So winds along that outflow boundary may reach 50 miles per hour. So you may not necessarily have a thunderstorm in your area, but you will get some of these 50 mile per hour winds perhaps in those counties that I just mentioned. Again, I'll call those out to you. That is going to be a special weather statement issued at 7:48 p.m., and it's going to be for Fayette, Walker, Tuscaloosa, Jefferson, St. Clair, Talladega, Clay, and Bibb. And I'll show you that outflow boundary one more time. That's it right there. And again, it's moving in this direction. And the special weather statement gets just the extreme western sections of Clay, pretty much all of Talladega, St. Clair, Jefferson, and part of Bibb, and back into Tuscaloosa and Walker County as well. Again, that's not for a thunderstorm. That is for this outflow boundary that's pushing south because of these storms up to the north. Now, all of Cleburne and Calhoun are under severe thunderstorm warnings for this complex, this setting right there, that's kind of moving in this direction. National Weather Service out of Birmingham has issued. Hold on a second. I think that's old data. It is. Never mind. All right, so let me zoom. Well, I'll push it down just a little bit so you can see East Alabama and West Georgia. And you can see the big stuff moving into Atlanta Metro there. I'll go over to the chat room, see what you guys are talking about. Alan Moon checking in from Wedowee. And you're very welcome, Alan. You're welcome, Samantha. Heather says, when they say April showers, I didn't anticipate them to mean literally crazy storms without power at Manville Road in Carrollton. Yeah, you guys are kind of getting a double dose there in Carrollton. You're getting that storm up there in the northeast corner of Carroll County, and then you've also got an outflow boundary from that's pushing down across the county as well. So a lot of gusty winds in Carrollton and in Carroll County at this hour. Yes, Dana, hail is a possibility in Daviston. Yes, I would put my car under the carport. Troop is okay at the moment, but all this stuff is moving to the east-southeast. So you may have to deal with it a little later on. Bradley Martin, watching at the campground. Oh, what campground and where? You're welcome, Rosemary. Oh, Kathy. We got a what about in the house? What about LaGrange, she says. What about LaGrange? You're in West Georgia. All of East Alabama and West Georgia has a 2 out of 5 risk of seeing severe thunderstorms tonight, up until around midnight or so. And we're talking strong gusty winds, damaging straight line winds of up to 60 plus miles per hour, and maybe even some large hail. We've seen reports. We've actually had some quarter-sized hail up here in northeast Georgia. We've seen that across parts of North Alabama. Pea-sized to half-dollar-sized hail, certainly plausible. And the tornado threat is not that great tonight, though anytime you have a thunderstorm, you can't completely rule out a tornado. The threat for a tornado tonight is really, really low. So the biggest threat we have is damaging straight-line winds and large hail. And a lot of lightning. There's a ton of lightning in these storms. We've already seen a number of potential house fires. That one that, if you were with me earlier, that you heard them tone out while I was live, turned out not to be. They did have a smell, an odor of smoke in the house, but so far they haven't found anything. But that will be pretty common across the area, I think, tonight. Major hail just went through Harrelson. Kathy, kind of tell me what size it was. Major, it really isn't a category. Was it like the size of a pea, a penny, a quarter, a $50, golf ball? There could be some golf ball size hail out there. Yeah, Regina, she needs a shirt, doesn't she? Hey, Barbara in Wedowee. Shannon's watching us on Lake Wedowee. She's in here. Regina, there's you a suspect right there. Autumn is asking about the shirts. There you go. She just posted it. If you need a what about shirt, message Regina Smith. She's in the chat room right now. Half the proceeds come back to support us here at Dr. Don's Weather. Regina, I appreciate you and your efforts and all the folks who have purchased the What About shirts. I think that went a little bit better than any of us expected it would, and is still ongoing. And I thank everyone who has purchased one and everyone who's helped make that happen. That's some pretty cool stuff. All you Dr. Don Thunder Buddies. That'll probably be a T-shirt coming in the future. Autumn's watching from West Point Lake. Autumn, if you're in a camper, you need to be really tuned in to what's going on with the weather, because this is not something you want to ride out in a camper or a tent by any stretch of the imagination. What's Anniston in for? Oh, there's another one about Anniston. You got a big one coming at you. You've already had one. Now you've got just to your northwest, you have just clearing Raglan. Look at that. Well, let me try that a little differently here. Let me just draw it. It's going to be hard to put a circle around that. Here's a very heavy thunderstorm that's just cleared Raglan. The western edge of it about to move into Center Point. The eastern edge of it just southeast of Jacksonville. And this is headed your way. Anniston, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. And you see there that we have multiple areas within that storm where we probably have some significant hail taking place. All those areas that I'm circling right there is where the hail is taking place in this storm. That one in the middle is probably the most significant, and that's moving directly toward Anniston. So if you're in Anniston proper, you need to be putting your automobiles under the carports, and you need to be seeking shelter. You do not want to be driving on I-20. You do not want to be driving anywhere around this storm tonight. Stay off of the roads and make sure that you seek shelter as this line of storms moves through. So that's what you got coming, Anniston. It's going to be rough over the next 30 minutes or so. I think I saw another what about. What about the valley area as far as hail and wind? Hello, Allison. Welcome to the What About Club. You're in East Alabama. All of East Alabama, every square inch of East Alabama and West Georgia stands a 2 out of 5 risk of seeing severe thunderstorms tonight. And tonight we're warning for hail and winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Hail could be up as large as $50, though I haven't really seen much of that. Most of the hail has been marble to quarter-sized and a lot of pea-sized hail. But you get up there around marble and quarter-sized, it can certainly cause damage to your automobile. So the risk for all of East Alabama and West Georgia, Valley is in East Alabama, stands a 2 out of 5 risk of seeing severe weather between now and about midnight tonight. Tornadoes are not much of a threat tonight, though you can never say never when you have a thunderstorm in the hood. But the tornado threat is relatively low compared to the last couple of events that we've dealt with across East Alabama and West Georgia. Is that rotation in Jacksonville? I'm quite sure it is. All thunderstorms rotate. That does not mean that we have a tornado. You do see a meso indicator right there. And all that's telling me is that the storm is rotating. Doesn't mean a thing other than it's a true thunderstorm because all thunderstorms rotate. What you got to look for here, if you're looking for a tornado, then that green circle would most likely be yellow. We most likely would have a tornado vortex signature on that storm. And then we would go over to the reflectivity, and we would switch over to base velocity, and then we would look for couplets. And as you see, there are none there, and that rotation signal just went away. I see nothing that indicates any type of tornadic activity out there tonight, and we certainly don't expect to see any of that. Looking at some of the winds, though, look at that. We've got some winds up there around 40 to 50 miles per hour. That's just north of Heflin in the Muscadine area of Cleburne County. That's moving south. And then over here in Georgia, we're seeing some 40 and 50 mile per hour winds. Again, now understand this is up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. It's not at the surface, but some of the heavy rain can push that to the ground. And then we have this gust front. This is an outflow boundary that is moving down through Leeds and about to move into North Birmingham, West Jefferson. And there certainly could be some 40 and 50 mile per hour winds along the leading edge of this outflow boundary. Actually just moved through Leeds, just cleared the I-2459 corridor just east of Birmingham, coming through downtown Birmingham at the moment, just north of Talladega. So this is going to move through Talladega. It looks pretty strong over here. And some of this is probably going to end up in northern Clay as well. Again, it's a gust front. It's a strong wall of wind from the outflow of these storms to the north. So you're going to get some nasty winds first, and then this front. It's a strong wall of wind from the outflow of these storms to the north. So you're going to get, and then this down into northern. And the way it's looking now may make it into northern Clay and potentially even down into northern Randolph. Yeah, that's moving more southeast now than it was earlier. So this is what we're projecting now on the movement. So heads up, northern Talladega, northern Clay, northern Randolph. If this holds together, it would eventually end up coming across maybe southwestern Carroll, down into Hurd, and then at some point down into Tallapoosa, Chambers, and over into Troop. And we're beginning to catch some severe thunderstorm warnings back over in northwest Alabama now from the activity moving out of Mississippi. That is headed toward Tuscaloosa. And we have that monster storm that's sitting just west of downtown Atlanta near Palmetto, or just north of Palmetto. So this is my daughter on the phone. Actually, it's River Maddox. Say hello to the world. Hey, say, how you doing?
How you doing?
Are you having a good time? Are you still vacationing in Florida?
Yeah, I just caught a big old shark.
You caught a shark?
Yeah.
A big one?
Mm-hmm.
Was he snaggletooth like you are?
I can't really see it because he got off.
He got off? Well, then how you know? 4.5 foot shark he caught, he says. But he got off.
And a cobia. And a cobia, too.
Wow. Are you having fun?
Yes, sir. We got a lot of trout, too.
Got a lot of trout. I saw you on the boat fishing.
We'll send him a picture of all the fish mounted up. We'll show you a lot of fish in the shark. A big picture of him.
All right, send the pictures to me because I'm live right now, and if I get to where I can, I'll show them to everybody. How about that? All right. All right.
Hey, people.
Love you too, buddy. Bye. War Eagle. Oh, he got me. I'm going to cut him off before he has a chance to change it because he normally says that other one. He got confused is what happened. Oh, yeah. Live television. You got to love it. Yeah, that was one of the grand boys who is on spring break down in the Big Bend area of Florida. Been down there all week. They're having a good time. All right, so let's see. Is that rotation at Jacksonville? No. That thunderstorm that is southwest of Atlanta is rotating, but it's a severe thunderstorm. It is supposed to rotate. So there we go. We now have a severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun, Cleburne, Northeast Talladega, Clay, and Randolph. So the National Weather Service now expanding that severe thunderstorm warning down into Randolph County as well. So those of you who have Regroup on your phone in Randolph County, your notifications are going off now. You're getting that notification of a severe thunderstorm warning for Randolph, Clay, northeastern Talladega, Cleburne, and Calhoun. So I'm going to read the verbiage of that to you. Severe thunderstorm warning for east central Talladega County and east central Alabama, Randolph County, and Clay County until 9:45. At 8:07 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Bynum, that's out there at the Army Anniston Depot, or near Cobbtown, moving to the southeast at 45 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm is 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. So if you are in northeastern Talladega, the storm is crossing over I-20 into extreme northeastern Talladega County right now. And we'll zoom in, and I'll show you. This is a nasty-looking storm. So far, this is the strongest-looking storm I've seen this afternoon, and it appears to have a rather large hail field with it. And I'm just going to circle all the areas there that potentially are producing hail in this storm. And there you go. And all of that is moving to the southeast at about 35, 40 miles per hour. So the hail marker is telling us there's a 100% chance of hail, and there's an 80% chance that this could be 1 1/4 inch sized hail or larger. So that's pretty significant. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. I'm going to show you the direction all this is moving. Again, that's the part of the storm that's got the strongest hail and most likely some real strong wind. We're talking 40, 50, and 60 mile per hour wind will certainly be possible here. And I'm just going to show you the direction all this is moving. There you go. So if you are in the direction of those arrows I just put on the map, then you're most likely going to be impacted by this storm. So if you're in Talladega proper, if you're north of Talladega, it's too late. But if you're, let me just draw a line on the map here. If you're anywhere along or south of that line I just put on the map, you've probably got time to get your automobile in a safe place or cover it up. You want to put a blanket over your car, your truck. If you don't have that, then a tarp is better than absolutely nothing at all. And then you also want to put cardboard over your windshield if you can. I mean, beach towels, anything that you can get your hands on, better than no protection at all. Those sunroofs need to be protected. Your rear window, again, a blanket, a couple of blankets. Heck, if you got 3 or 4 blankets, pile them all on your automobile. The best idea is to pull your car under your carport or in a porch. A shed, would be the best idea, but most folks don't have those, so you got to get creative. Anything you can cover your automobile with, is a good idea. And actually, that line is too close now. Let me draw it again. So about right there. If you're along or south of this yellow line I just drew on the map, you've got time to go protect your automobile. If you're north of that line, this thing's getting pretty close to you. I would not risk it. Though your automobile is important, it is not more important than your life. And this is the kind of storm you do not want to be out in the middle of, folks. I really hope that nobody's traveling I-20 through this because, I mean, the hail is pretty significant right there crossing I-20. But if nothing else, this rain it's like a sheet of rain coming down. The column is almost completely saturated here, so it's going to be almost impossible to see to drive out I-20. If you're on Highway 431, you're going toward Anniston, northbound, you got to find somewhere to pull off and ride this storm out. Don't drive into this. If you're coming through Clay County, you're going up toward Cheehaw Mountain, got to find a place to pull over and ride this storm out. Do not drive into this storm. If you're, on 431 and you're ahead of the storm, don't stop anywhere. Keep going south till you get wherever it is you're going and get out of this. Don't let this thing catch you and overcompass you, and then you'll be right in the middle of it as well. Again, a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued for Randolph, Clay, and in Clay, all but the extreme southwestern corner, and for northeastern Talladega. And the warning is primarily for this part of the storm, even though there will be some pretty strong wind gusts all along this front as it moves to the southeast. And this thing is moving in this general direction. Power is out at White Plains up around Anniston. That's this gust front coming through. I would be willing to bet we're going to see power interruption all along where this storm tracks over the next hour or so. This is a very strong thunderstorm, and I'm going to draw a line on where I think it's going to track. So if you're inside those two lines there, over the course of the next hour and a half, be prepared for power outage. It's not a good idea to be driving anywhere inside of these two yellow lines that I just put on the map. Your automobile needs to be protected. So the effects of this storm will be felt inside of those two yellow lines, and then I've got an arrow right in the middle showing you the direction this thing is moving. If you're in Ashland, Lineville, Delta, if you're in Heflin, Mount Cheehaw, Woodland, Wedowee, and even down there around Roanoke and Wadley and the mountain community in southern Clay. If this holds together, eventually it will get to you down there. Now, it's still a pretty good ways away from you, but this is a very strong thunderstorm with a very good possibility of producing some significant hail and very, very strong winds. And I'm looking over here at the National Weather Service. And, of course, Cleburne and Calhoun are both still under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. And there are just countless reports of downed trees and power lines back behind this line of storms. We have a confirmed gust in Anniston at 47 miles per hour. Trees down Buck Johnson Road and Blackberry Road, Highway 17, 4 miles from Sulligent. And I'm specifically sifting through all of this, trying to find information on this particular storm. It's coming through Anniston, so we ought to be getting a lot of reports here. Most of what I'm seeing is up around Gadsden at the moment, but it's just now moving into and through Anniston, so it may take a moment. There's nothing going on in Tallapoosa County, Mallory. That's why I'm not talking about Tallapoosa County. Tallapoosa County is just below Clay, and there's Clay on the map. So you got to understand that this is moving in your general direction. Again, we have we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Rachel, this is not a tornado event, but you do need to make sure you're indoors. And, you know, it's probably a good idea not to be near your windows when this thing moves through. But this is a severe thunderstorm warning. There's no indication of a tornado with this. The biggest danger is going to be that outflow boundary that is running maybe 5-10 miles out ahead of the storm. And you could get 40 to 50 mile per hour winds with the gust front. And then with the storm, with the storm itself, you could get some 50, 60 mile per hour winds and hail. Those are the two biggest threats from this storm. The lightning output is there, though it's not off the chain. It's not quite, there is a lot of lightning. There are not a lot of strong charges showing up on radar, but right there around where the hail core is, let me stop that. Clear that out. So we're looking at a 100% chance of hail and a 60% chance that we're at least 3/4 of an inch. That's just one indication right there. 80% chance of hail and 40% chance at a ½ inch out on the left flank. So the hail output may have subsided just a little bit, but I wouldn't bank on it. All right, so there's a good report from Oxford. The wind is bad. Folks, when you report something in the chat room on weather conditions at your location, please give me the name of the town or where you're close to so that I know where you are. There are literally thousands of people in here. It's hard to keep up with exactly where everybody lives, so it helps me tremendously if you'll post where you're posting from, where the weather is actually taking place. LaGrange, Georgia, ? Allison. Allison got a little welcome to the What About Club. Welcome, Allison. So LaGrange is in West Georgia. All of East Alabama and West Georgia has a 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather as we go throughout the remainder of this evening. Large hail and damaging straight-line winds are the main threats. Christy just did a no-no. She drove through a hailstorm because she wasn't aware she was about to do that. But she is reporting, apparently, that she is okay. And let me get back up there to her comment. We are on the Montford side of Oxford in hail. And we've been telling you now for about 30 minutes that was going to move through there. Please be aware of what you're driving into if you're going to be out driving when there's severe weather. That is extremely dangerous. A lot of lightning, wind, and heavy rain. Best option for you, Christy, is to pull off and let this thing pass. It's going to move through pretty quick. This is not the kind of weather you want to be driving in. I mean, it's pretty dangerous. No, it wasn't sleeting. It was hailing. It doesn't sleet in severe weather. It hails. Sleet is during winter weather. You don't have sleet in a springtime thunderstorm. That is hail. Lightning, heavy rain, and wind on 77 between I-20 and Talladega. Sherry, no, the storm has not died down. It's holding its own pretty good. Thanks, Sharon. That's a new little addition. We're going to toot those folks who ask those what about questions. Hey, look, we're just having fun with you guys. No harm meant here. We're just having fun with you. All the Dr. Don Thunder Buddies in the house. Can I show the direction the storm is moving? Yeah. Moving in that direction. Hence the reason Clay County and Randolph County is under a severe thunderstorm warning, and also northeastern Talladega County. This is sliding to the south and southeast into Clay and Randolph. And if it holds together, I would anticipate a new warning forthcoming, probably for Carroll, probably southwestern Carroll, maybe Roopville West, and for potentially for Heard County. And again, if it holds together, eventually all of West Georgia will probably catch one. Noonan, Georgia. Yeah, you got storms coming your way. Raining in the Shinbone Valley. Hey, yeah, Stomp. What's up, brother? Yeah, these storms are trucking at about 40 miles per hour, and they have been for the last 2 hours, moving across North Alabama, headed toward East Alabama. Candy says, right now, just in the edge of Talladega County, south side of Oxford, it's pretty rough outside. Not any hail at this moment. No, the hail possibilities have already passed to your south and southeast. The area of the storm where we may have some hail taking place now is moving into extreme northern Clay County. So the risk for hail at your location, Candy, has ended. Luke's asking the question, should I leave Wind Creek? Well, if you're like camping, yeah. I'm not sure you have to pack everything up and leave, but stay close to the bathhouse. because, and it's not from this storm. Let me clear things up here. I'll zoom out. This storm probably will not make it down into Elmore County, but you'll notice what's happening up here northwest of Birmingham, and that's several hours away from you, Luke. So, no, there's no reason for you to leave Lake Martin's Wind Creek right this moment. But I would certainly, don't go to sleep in a camper or a tent and not pay attention to the weather, because some of this stuff could make it down into your area in a couple of hours. Just be weather aware if you're at Wind Creek State Park. Okay, Allison. Okay, I hate to hear that. Send me a private message if you don't mind, and let me know what's going on with Mike. Now that you mentioned that, I have not seen him tonight, and he's normally in here. So prayers for Mike Pittman, absolutely. And Allison, if you don't mind, send me a private message on that. Easing up in North Sacs, but the light show was intense. There you go. Lots of lightning. Pouring in Noonan. Yeah, you got some heavy rain over there, but nothing severe. You're still under a severe thunderstorm warning, but that's because of this stuff that's up there around Tyrone, between Tyrone and Union City. Noonan, you don't have anything severe in the area. You do have some thunder and lightning, and you do have very heavy rainfall. But the severe part of this is off to your northeast. All right, so we just got an update on the severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 9:45 p.m. for east central Talladega, Randolph, and Clay County. Severe thunderstorm warning continues at 8:29, in effect until 9:45. A severe thunderstorm was located over Delta, or 11 miles southeast of Oxford, moving to the southeast at 45 miles per hour. And you got that gust front that's coming down out ahead of the storm itself. Again, let me show you the gust front. There's probably 30, 40, maybe even 50 mile per hour winds right along that yellow line, pushing to the south, well out ahead of the line of thunderstorms, maybe by about 5 miles or so. That's an outflow boundary from these storms, and you could certainly get some wind that could knock down some trees and power lines even before the storm gets to you guys. Look at that. Wow. So there's the latest look on radar, and at the moment, the best hail core signature is right here, and that is probably going to end up moving right over Ashland and Lineville. We've also got some hail just north of Delta. And that's going to move in that direction. Heads up Lake Wedowee. especially the western side of Randolph County and the north central sections of Clay. Abanda is back in the house. What about Valley, Alabama? Oh, Nikki. Welcome to the What About Club, Nikki. Folks, if I'm not talking about your town, you have nothing to be worried about. That's the way this works. We focus on where the most serious, life-threatening weather is taking place. And as I have said multiple times, and I understand, Nikki, you may not have been in here, so I'll repeat it for you again. All of East Alabama and West Georgia, Valley is in East Alabama, has a 2 out of 5 risk for the possibility of severe weather tonight, to include large hail and damaging straight-line winds of 60 miles per hour. We are watching a line of thunderstorms move into East Alabama. Currently, it is in Talladega, Clay, Randolph, Cleburne, and over into Carroll County in Georgia. We're watching that line move in the general direction of Valley, Alabama. It will move down across Clay, Randolph, probably make it into Heard County. And then if it holds together, it may come down through Chambers, Troop, and eventually across Valley. It's got a ways to go before it gets to you, though. Who knows what this line of thunderstorms will look like by the time it makes it that far southeast. But we're watching it for you. Wind is coming through the Flat Rock Park area of Flat Rock right now. I was supposed to be in Jekyll Island tonight, Will. We came back a day early because of what you're looking at on the radar screen. The intent was to be able to broadcast from Jekyll and do this, but the part of the island I was staying on has just enough cell phone service for you to maybe check an email or two, and that is it. Upload streaming was an absolute no-go. So we made the decision early this morning to come back a day early so that we could do this from the studio. And so that's where we are. Bad news, good news. Bad news for Clay County. That's where all the hail is at the moment. Yeah, that's not going to work. Let me just draw it. That's your hail right there. And it's moving like so. But now on the very next volume scan, it could be in a different spot. But at the moment, that's the direction the hail is moving. And that is where, of course, the most dangerous part of this storm is. You do have this gust front that's moving down through Randolph, especially on the western side of Randolph, and then back into Clay. There could be 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds along that leading edge right there before the storm actually gets to you. Bad wind in Ephesus. Wind really blowing in Graham. Pretty bad wind and hail in Fayette and Coweta counties. Strong winds in Ashland. Raining hard and crazy wind in Bowden. Will there be any more storms for Clay County after this one goes through? Probably not, Jerry. Getting really bad in Newell. Crazy wind in Roopville. Power is out. Where, Cindy Bain? Where is the power out? Thanks, Alan. Just doing what to do. Strong winds in Wedowee. Yep, the winds just came through Wedowee. So you folks south of Wedowee, we're talking Needham's Hill, we're talking Rockstand. Eventually, we're talking Crystal Lake area, Roanoke, Almond, Malone, Wadley, Potash Ridge. Heads up, this wind is coming your way. You're going to get a strong burst of wind even before the rain starts, before the storm gets there. That's the gust front that's running out ahead of this thing. And then right behind it, you're going to start getting the rain. You may get more wind. And for the moment, most of the hail is over on the left flank of this line of storms. We'll see what happens when we get our next volume scan, which is coming in right now. Bottom just fell out at Foster's Crossroads. Crazy wind in Ashland, Lineville on Denny Road. Hey, Sonia. Strong winds between Ashland and Lineville. Just came through the Midway community. Power out in Wedowee off of 48 toward Lineville. Not surprised. The thunderstorm's moving at about 35 miles per hour, but winds could be 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. And if you're Wedowee south, get ready. It's coming to you. And you certainly could have some power outages with this. And the Weather Service canceling some of the counties from the severe thunderstorm watch over in Georgia, up in northeast Georgia. We'll get to that as soon as we can. Okay, so Cindy says she's in Coldwater. It's all quiet there now with no power. Yeah, the severe weather has ended for you there in Coldwater. Power out in Newell. Is the storm expected to hit the Auburn-Opelika area? Possibly. Just lost power on state line near Ephesus. Sounds like hail in Lineville. It most likely is. You got hail right on top of you there in Lineville. Storming in Folsom. Wind starting to pick up at Tin Shop. Wind is bad and tons of lightning. Franklin, you're okay at the moment, but this is coming your way. Well, thank you, 5-year-old, with Johnny Shaw and Sonia. Thank you. Yeah, it's headed to you, Dusty, at Potash. Thundering in Woodland. Really heavy wind in Woodland. Power flashing. Power out now in Woodland. Morrison's Crossroads getting hit pretty good now. Lightning in Wadley. Lots of rain. It's not lightning in Wadley, but you see a lightning storm back up to your north and northeast. But it's coming your way, Wadley. Lots of rain. Rain starting in Wedowee. Strong wind. Rain and power flickering on and off in Woodland. Power out in Woodland. So apparently some of you have already lost power in Woodland. Brittany Fettner, thanks so much for all you do. You're welcome, Vanessa. Lots of lightning in Ranburne. Power out in Whitesburg. Big hail. What is big hail, Toby? Is it marble size? Is it $50 size? It's rough here around Folsom Crossroads and Wedowee. I hear you, Tyron. Thank you, Selena. You're in a mobile home or travel trailer in North Coweta. I think you're okay. I mean, that's not the ideal place to be anytime there's a severe thunderstorm around. But that part of the storm that's severe over in the Coweta area is back toward Atlanta. It's not coming your way. Samantha, that's my weather notifications going off in the background. Every time the Weather Service issues a warning or a watch, that's there to get my notification or to get my attention so I can look at it. And it has been very active tonight. You're welcome, Stephanie. Thank you, Miss Rhonda Luke. Thank you, Norma. I see you, Sharon, in Alexander City. Thank you, Adam. Machiaville, it's going to storm. And the threat of tornadoes here is very small. This is more of a straight line wind and hail thunderstorm event. I would stay away from windows. I don't think it's absolutely necessary that you go to your safe place, but that's always the absolute safest thing to do anytime there's severe weather, because you could, all it takes is one tree to come down, and if it comes down on your house, then you need to be in the strongest, safest place to be. And you don't have to have a tornado for that to happen. It happens more often in severe thunderstorm events than it does tornado events. Is Carrollton in the clear? Yes. Carrollton is in the clear. Southern parts of Carroll County, not just yet. Places like Roopville, Bucktown, Veal. Bowden, you're in the clear. Carrollton, you're in the clear. Though we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll County, the severe threat has moved on over south of Atlanta for the most part. Really, in East Alabama, the only severe weather we have going on right now is going to be this storm. We've got the hail core now over in eastern Clay County, so it's between Lineville and Lake Wedowee. And that's where the severe part of this storm is located, right here. And this is kind of moving in this direction. Ashland, I think you just barely missed the hail core in this storm. Lynette, this thing's headed in your general direction, so no, you're good right this minute, but I don't know that you're going to miss this. Folks, understand storms don't come with instructions or a manual. I mean, there's no way of knowing if this is going to hold together and make it down into Chambers County or LaGrange. I mean, there's just no way of knowing. We're going to watch it together and give you a heads up as they issue the warnings. You just need to know that there is a decent chance you could have severe weather here, anywhere across East Alabama and West Georgia. And for those of you that are involved in the tornado watch, and that's all the way down to Lee County, that does include Chambers County, just know that you have a good chance of this line of thunderstorms making it all the way down into Chambers County. I mean, if the structure stays the same as it is right this moment and it holds together, then this is kind of what we're looking at here. And it would take it a good hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes or so to get all the way down into Lee and Harris County. Now, Lee and Harris County is not covered by the severe thunderstorm watch, not at the moment. Noonan, you're in good shape. I'm not quite ready to call all clear for Noonan, but I will pretty soon. And of this entire thing, where I would expect the actual severe weather to be taking place, if there is any, is going to be in this area. That's where the hail is. All those blues and purples that you see flashing there, the whites, that's where the hail is taking place. So it's really ugly on Lake Wedowee right now. And it's about to get ugly in Malone, probably down in the Corinth community. You're going to get some really heavy weather. I mean, the wind is off the chain down there right now. Hogansville, you have nothing severe. You've got rain and wind coming, thunder and lightning, but nothing severe at the moment. The green circles, and I don't see one on the screen at the moment, but that is a mesoscale. That's telling you the thunderstorm is rotating. Yeah, there is one. There's one right there. There's a mesoscale right there. And that's simply telling you that the thunderstorm is rotating, which all thunderstorms rotate. That does not mean in and of itself that we have a tornado. That means that the thunderstorm is rotating, which by definition, a thunderstorm rotates. Franklin, you got some heavy rain coming, but nothing severe at the moment. Well, let me see if I can figure out what the Weather Service just did. They issued a special weather statement, and for some reason, they got a weird polygon that stretches all the way into the western part of Randolph. I don't know. I can't tell you what that's supposed to be. But we are under a severe thunderstorm warning, and this hail core, which is rather large now, is coming right out Highway 48, and it's coming right over Lake Wedowee. Savannah, so far, we've had no tornadoes reported, no tornado warnings, no tornadoes spotted. So, no, the tornado threat is not zero, but it's very low in this particular setup. So, Donna is reporting on State Route 48 near the Randolph-Clay County line. Very heavy rain, wind, and it sounds like hail on their metal roof. It probably is, Donna, but it may be small in your exact location because you're up here on the north end of all of this if you're on 48. But you get down here where you see these whites and the flashing blue and the dark colors, that is pretty significant hail. So we've got hail taking place just north of Malone. right there at the R.L. Harris Dam. And the wind should be coming into Roanoke now. The hail is moving southeast, so Dickard, yeah, it's moving in your general direction. So if you're down here in southern Randolph, we're talking about places like Corinth, Wadley, Dickard, West Roanoke, Roanoke proper, even over into the Rock Mills area. You got to pay attention to what's happening up here to your northwest. We've got a pretty significant hail core that is moving to the southeast, out of Clay County into Randolph. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Chambers County. So all of you whatabouts down here in Chambers County that have been asking questions. All right, you got a severe thunderstorm warning. So this thing is going to move, they think, is going to continue moving to the southeast, and may actually make it down into Chambers County as well. All right, and let me check this right quick. All right, so once again, if you're just joining us, we have a All right, so the severe thunderstorm warning now for eastern Clay County has been canceled. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Randolph. The National Weather Service in Birmingham has also issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Chambers County in east central Alabama until 10 p.m. At 8:54, severe thunderstorm was located over Malone or near Lake Wedowee, moving to the southeast at 45 miles per hour. Hazard with this storm is 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and half-dollar-sized hail. Severe thunderstorm warning issued at 8:55 p.m. and is valid until 9:45 p.m. For Randolph County. A severe thunderstorm located near Wedowee. Actually, it's a little bit south of that now, moving to the southeast at 45 miles per hour. So that's what's going on here. Now, let me go in a little bit tighter on this storm because we have a pretty All right, so we're getting reports of 44-mile-per-hour wind associated with this in Randolph County, and the National Weather Service Birmingham actually stating that that's the highest wind they've seen so far tonight. So this is a pretty respectable storm here. You guys need to pay attention to this. This is moving in this general direction. So Roxton, really from Wedowee all the way down to Roxton, Roanoke, and then back to Wadley, Corinth, Malone. This entire area is going to sweep through here and eventually end up moving down into Chambers County as well. We now have a special weather statement for that looks like Heard. Yeah, special weather statement for Heard, Coweta, Troop, Meriwether, and Harris. And that's going to be for the gust front along this line that's moving to the south. The severe part of all of this is over there in southwestern Randolph County. Right here. And that's a pretty nasty looking thunderstorm with a pretty good indication that we have hail taking place. A 100% chance of hail and an 80% chance that we have hail at the size of 1¼ inches. So we're looking at ping pong or maybe golf ball size hail here. And that's some pretty big hail. Getting windy in Roanoke. The warning in Meriwether County is for the extreme northeastern corner. The rest of the county is under a special weather statement. National Weather Service has now extended the severe thunderstorm watch to include Elmore, Lee, Macon, Russell counties in Alabama. So the watch has been extended one tier of counties to the south in Alabama. New severe thunderstorm warning for Birmingham, for Jefferson County. Hail on Potash. Yes, Carrollton, you're good to go. Leah says it's rowdy in Franklin. We got hail in Grantville. Hail in Potash. Uh-oh. Alyssa, really? Got a what about in the house? What about Roanoke, she says. Well, Roanoke's fixing to get hammered. You've got a very large hail core moving into the western side of Roanoke right now. So if you're in Roanoke, you do not need to be on the roads, folks. Let's get serious here for a minute. If you're anywhere around the city of Roanoke, you need to find somewhere to go and park it until this thing passes over. We've got very large hail in this storm that's about to move over Roanoke. You got strong winds. You've already had strong winds. Now you're about to get some more. Especially out there on the western side of Roanoke, the hail course coming right at you. Dime-size hail just outside of Wadley, we're being told. Wind in Roanoke and rain. Hail at Broughton Ridge. How big's the hail at Broughton Ridge? When you guys report hail, give me something to measure it with. Hailing in Wadley right now. How big is the hail? It's coming toward you, LaGrange. You'll get a little bit of this here in another hour or so. Hail and wind at Crystal Lake. Jonathan, how measure the hail for me. Tell me how big it is. I think this just the hail core itself has just passed over Corinth. You could get some small hail out there, but this is more toward Roanoke now. Hail in Dickard. We got a little thunder and lightning in Bacon Level. Very windy on New Franklin Road. 5 miles west of Wedowee. It has slacked up a bit here. Yeah, this is going to be Roanoke and southeast now. Dime-size hail at Broughton Ridge. Thank you. Pea-size hail at Dickard. Thank you, Jeremy. Pea-size hail may be a little bit bigger right now, says Jonathan. I forgot where Jonathan is reporting from. You guys have got to give me the size and where you're reporting from. Is Woodland in the clear? I'll look for you in just a minute. Marble-size hail in the Level Roads community. Hail in Corinth was the size of a quarter and pea size. So thank you, Joe. You did get hail. It's already passed you in the Corinth community. Pea-size hail in Grantville. Bacon Level about to get hammered. Yes, you are. Dickard, hail less than a dime in size. There's another what about, Justin? I'm dealing with the areas that has the most significant weather right now. We'll look at Hogansville in just a few minutes. But I'm not calling the name of your town. You have nothing to worry about. Quarter-inch hail off County Road 825 in Wadley. Dime-size hail in Wadley. Pea-size hail in Wadley. Somebody's asking about Beauregard. Again, if I'm not calling the name of your town, you have nothing to worry about right now. Dime-size hail in Dickard. County Road 43, the size of big pinto beans. Now, Kim, there's a new one. I've never heard that before. Hail the size of big pinto beans. Pea-size hail in Abanda. So it looks like about pea up to the size of a quarter is pretty common with this thunderstorm. We're going to let this thing loop through so you can kind of see how it's moving, and it is pretty much moving south-southeast. Zoom out right quick. So nothing going on in West Georgia until you get over to around Barnesville, Griffin, Jackson, and Monticello. That's where the severe weather is. Across West Georgia, you have just a special weather statement out for all of West Georgia. The only warnings we have in the Dr. Don coverage area is the severe thunderstorm warning for Randolph County, which is primarily the south end of the county now. So, yes, Woodland, you're in the clear. Wedowee, you're in the clear. Gray Hill, Graham, you're in the clear. Carroll County, you're in the clear. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warning down in Chambers County as this whole complex is going to shift down, probably down there right around Welch and Stroud. This is headed directly for Lake West Point. So if you know anybody that's camping over on Lake West Point, then call them. Make sure they know what's going on. They don't need to be in a travel trailer or a tent with what is moving in that general direction. Melinda says her yard looks like it snowed. Where is your yard, Melinda? Where are you? Hailing in Abanda. What about 5 points? Rhonda, you're in East Alabama. In West Georgia, you got a 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather. This line of storms is moving in your general direction, so you got to pay attention to it. Yes, Ashley, if you're like 2 miles from Welch, then you're probably going to get some of this. Samantha's going to go put a sleeping bag on her windshield. That's not a bad idea. She's in Valley. So Joe's reporting that most of the wind stayed aloft, but he could hear it when it came over. You're welcome, Whitney. Really bad in Roanoke. Yeah, it looks like it. And I'm going to tell you, folks, that's the most significant hail core I have seen all day. And we've been on the air covering this now for about 4 hours. And that is the absolute worst I have seen all day long. That's a very strong thunderstorm with potentially a lot of hail there. Most of the reports I'm seeing is the hail is from pea-sized up to about a quarter. But I mean, you get up there around a quarter, that's that can cause some damage. Lots of hail in Wadley. Pea-sized hail in Bacon Level. Yes, this is generally headed toward LaGrange. Temp dropped fast. You better believe it will. Raining hard in Roanoke. We've had a lot of hail in Wadley. That's how Wadley looks. Uh-oh. There's another what about. Asking about Frog Eye. Hailing on Country Club Road. Serious hail. Folks, when you report hail, tell me how big it is and where you're reporting from. I don't know what serious to you could be totally different to me. Serious to me is like softball size. And I don't think that's what you've got. But if you do, I need to know about it. Peach size hail in Abanda. I'm going to have to see more than one report of that. Pea-sized hail in Roanoke. That makes sense. Hail in Clarksville. Jasmine says hailing hard in Clarksville now. No power in Graham. Pea-sized hail in Abanda. Thank you. Wind is picking up in 5 points. Justin, you don't know the half of it, my friend. Hailing at the Randolph County, Chambers County line. Things have calmed down in Woodland. Pea-sized hail. I don't know where that was. It's moving toward LaGrange now. Next hour or so. Quarter size at Twin Lakes. Hailing on Doublehead Road, pea-sized. So the majority of the hail report seems to be pea-sized hail. zoom out, you guys can kind of see how this stuff is moving. And we've got more storms coming through Birmingham that are moving southeast, but they may be weakening a bit. You'll notice, let me go over here and look at this right quick. So we had a severe thunderstorm warning for Birmingham proper. Now they've replaced that with a special weather statement in places like Childersburg and Alabaster. So that's an indication that that storm's not as strong as it was a few moments ago. We have another storm blowing up now just southeast of Talladega. That's going to work into Clay County. So the part of Clay, now there comes a new severe thunderstorm warning for Clay County. Look at that. And that's going to be for a severe thunderstorm just south of Talladega, about to move through the Waldo area. And then it's probably going to move directly over Ashland and Lineville. And if it holds together, Lake Wedowee, and even down here into the Malone, Almond, Malone, Corinth areas. Heads up, we have another severe thunderstorm back in Talladega County that may move into southern Randolph County. All right, so the National Weather Service has released all of the warning in Randolph, with the exception of the Roanoke area down into Chambers County. This is headed directly towards Standing Rock, 5 points, Holiday Park. And if you're on the west and southwest side of Roanoke, that's where the heaviest hail is located. The lightning looks pink because you've got hail. You've got ice particles in the clouds. That's why it looks pink. Getting reports of very large hail on the west side of Roanoke, and that correlates with what the radar is telling us. Baseball size hail on Airport Road. I need to see more reports of that. Somebody get a picture of that if you've got baseball size hail. Strong winds in LaGrange. Yeah, I'm going to need verification on that baseball-sized hail. Lots of hail in Dickard. I suspect the ground's covered. I mean, that's what this thing is dropping. It probably looks like it's just snowed outside. So reports of just pea-sized hail. I suspect there's some larger hail on the west side of Roanoke. It may not be happening in your house, but there are a couple of places, spots in there that looks like you may have some at least quarter-sized, if not half-dollar-sized hail. Tin Shop is in the clear for the moment. quarter-sized hail in Talladega. Yeah, Ashland, you've got a new severe thunderstorm warning. You got a new severe thunderstorm just south of Talladega, moving in your general direction. One person says that they live just behind M.L. Aubrey's on Main Street in downtown Roanoke, and it's barely even raining. Yep, that is correct. That's the way this works. You can get out and draw a line across the road on where it's storming and where it isn't. Woodland, I can tell you, no, I can't. I mean, you're okay at the moment, but we got this stuff over here in Clay we got to watch for a little while longer before we can call it for you. All right, so the hail is quitting Grantville. Bad lightning in Wadley. Tin Shop is fine now. Cleburne County, at the moment, you're good. But there's more storms coming across north central Alabama coming out I-20. Though I think the severe threat may have, is in the process of ending for Cleburne County. We'll watch. We still got to watch this for a little while longer, though. In Lynette and Valley, I don't think this storm up in Randolph is going to make it down to you. I think it's going to end up like so. Going to be a close call for LaGrange. It will come across, I think it will come across West Point, but I think it may stay just a tad bit north of Valley and Lynette. All right, folks, I've got to take a quick break, just a very quick one. I'm going to put the radar in motion so you can see the direction all of this is moving. And I will be right back, and we will continue with our coverage. You're watching live severe weather coverage on Dr. Don's Weather. It's 9:21 p.m. Central, 10:21 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, April 10th, 2025. I'll be right back with you. All right, folks, I'm back in here with you, and we continue to watch this situation unfold this evening across East Alabama and West Georgia. A nasty storm just moved through the Roanoke area, now is moving down into Chambers County. We have more hail popping up now just north of Wadley. So, Mr. Joe, I'll need you to tell me whether you've got hail falling at your house there. It's pretty close to you now. Around 10 trees reported across roadways all over the county so far. Doesn't seem to be centralized in a particular area. Thank you, David Cofield. So that means that this gust front that moved across Randolph County just kind of sporadically knocked down trees across the county. So there's no one particular area of where most of the tree damage is. That's a good report. Pea-sized hail from Miss Felicia reported in the Welch area. We've got wind and lightning and some rain in LaGrange. Pea-sized hail in Stroud. So the overwhelming majority of the hail reports so far across Clay and Randolph have been pea-sized hail. There could have been a couple of little small areas there on the western side of Roanoke where we could have seen some larger hail, probably quarter-sized, would seem plausible. But this is now moving on down into the 5 Points area of northeastern Chambers County. So we'll show it to you right there on the map. So basically between Standing Rock, Stroud, and 5 Points, that's where most of the hail is located, and this stuff is moving in this general direction. So it's going to come right over West Point Lake, Holiday Park, and down toward Long Cane. So heads up for that area. Severe thunderstorm warning continues primarily for the northeastern and eastern sections of Chambers. Weather Service has already placed a special weather statement for all of West Georgia. So far, they have not upgraded troop to a warning at this point. Alyssa, that most likely was a scud cloud that was seen, not a funnel cloud. This is not tornado-type thunderstorms for the most part. So Shelby Smith says that they are at West Point Lake. Wind is crazy, and now just some rain, and we are going to get any harder. Yes, the core of the storm hasn't even gotten to you yet on West Point Lake. It's still to your northwest. You do not need to be out in this. If you're camping on West Point Lake, you need to be in a steady structure until this hail core passes over. Hey, Trey Williams, I can't wait to be at Boondocks either. I'm looking forward to it. Multiple trees down on Skyview Road in Ashland. Well, the night's not done, Pennon. No, Kendall, there's no concern for tornadoes. I mean, anytime there's a rotating thunderstorm, there's that slight possibility, but this is not really a tornado setup tonight. We're talking damaging straight line winds and hail, for the most part, pea-sized hail to dime-sized. And that's what Tammy is reporting in 5 Points. That's a good report, Tammy. Thank you very much. Pea-sized hail at Abbott's Ford. A scud cloud is a cloud formation that looks like a tornado, but it's not. Tornadoes are in the left rear flank of every thunderstorm. Scud clouds are out along the leading edge of a rotating thunderstorm. They're low-hanging, ragged-looking clouds that look like tornadoes or funnel clouds, but they're not. Dime-sized hail on Gillum Road. Hey, Russ. All right, so looking at Clay, we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning over here in Clay County. And that's for this mess that's coming out of Talladega. And the strongest part of the storm in Clay at the moment is right there. And that's going to be west of Lineville, maybe a little bit northwest of Lineville, northwest of Ashland. And this stuff in, wow, look at that. So with that volume scan update, this part of the storm down near Sylacauga is growing strong. And all of this stuff in Clay is moving in this general direction. So Wadley, all you folks over here in southern Randolph, maybe even northern Randolph, you may have another round coming here. It's just a ridiculous stormy night across East Alabama and West Georgia. Severe thunderstorm warnings now for Coosa, Tallapoosa, for north and central Tallapoosa, and basically northeastern Chambers. Also, severe thunderstorm warning for Talladega and Clay, with the exception of that extreme northern and northeastern corner of Clay. Severe thunderstorm warning has now been canceled for Randolph for the moment. Certainly could see another round of severe weather in Randolph within the next 45 minutes or so. Okay, I'm getting some photographs from West Roanoke, and yeah, I see maybe pea to marble sized hail is what I'm looking at now. So I think that's a pretty good. I think that's pretty much what we're going to see. New severe thunderstorm warning coming in now for Troup County. And there we go. It just populated on the screen. And what they're warning for is the core of this storm that came through Randolph and is now in northeastern Chambers. And this thing is going to move kind of like so. Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warning that was just posted for Troup does not really get LaGrange proper. It does get maybe Lee's Crossroads west, Lee's Crossing west, back to the Alabama state line, and then south down to around Lynette. It does get, of course, valleys on the Alabama side, but it does get down into extreme northwestern Harris County as well. You'll notice while the entire line is sinking south, the hail core in this storm is moving more of an east-southeast motion. I'll rock that back and forth a time or two. Let me drop this down where you can see the whole storm. You'll see what I'm talking about. The entire complex is moving due south, while the storm cell that contains the heaviest hail is moving southeast. And I'll tell you that it's not as strong as it was in Randolph. You can see there it starts losing some of its size when it gets right there. So that's a pretty good hail core. And then the next volume scan, it starts to fade away. It comes back a little bit. We still have hail there just east of 5 points. But the indication of hail not as strong as it was maybe 10 minutes ago. Meanwhile, this storm coming out of Talladega, headed into Clay, does appear to be intensifying. We've got a hail core now right there is small. We'll see what the next volume scan brings. Probably is hail on Roanoke Road. Yeah, Jeff, that probably that hail probably came across there between you and Welch, maybe a couple of miles north of 5 Points. The whole process takes about 5 minutes to do a complete scan. Every time you see that line that's moving in a circle come sweep around, it's looking at a different level, a different pitch. The radar starts out at 4 degree or 0.4 degrees, and then the next time around it will move up. It'll tilt up to 0.9 degrees. Then the next time it comes around, it will tilt up to 1.3 degrees, so forth and so on, until it gets up to about 20 degrees off the surface. And that takes about 5 to 6 minutes for that entire thing to take place. And then they push everything out. Trey's got his motorcycle helmet on and he's in the tub. Be careful, Sam. The chicks have been relocated out to their outdoor coop, and they're doing just fine. Thundering now in West Point. Lots of thunder in Greenville and in Meriwether County. A bot alarm. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. We're fixing to get rid of those bots. If it to be done. You're welcome, Jessica. I love helping folks understand it because that's part of being weather aware. If you understand what you're looking at and you understand how weather typically works, then that helps you be weather aware when we get into these events. And if you're one of those who suffer from weather anxiety, that will help you control your weather anxiety as well. If you can look at it and you understand what's going on, then there's no reason to be anxious because weather's going to do weather. I mean, it's been going on since the beginning of time, and it'll be going on when we cut the light switch off. It's part of life. Oh, silly Billy. Hey, Dr. Don, what about us? As far south as the storms go right now is Macon. Macon back over toward Troup County. There's nothing down in middle or southern Georgia. And I would anticipate the storms to really start losing some of their intensity the further south they go in time because we're getting into late evening now. And over here toward Thomaston, you've got some storms moving in your direction, but nothing severe at the moment. Yes, been a very active severe weather year, and that's not unusual. This happens about every 3 to 4 years. We have an active severe weather spring season, and the last couple of years hasn't been that significant. But this year, yeah, so far it's been pretty active. Roanoke, I would not call it quits just yet because of this stuff back over in southern Clay County. That may slip south of Wadley and Roanoke, but I'd hang on a few more minutes. Let's get another couple of scans in here and look at it. They're moving at about 45 miles per hour. The line is sinking to the south while the individual storms are racing off to the southeast. So power's out on 34 West in Heard County going toward Roanoke. Pea-size hail off Glass Bridge Road in LaGrange. Thunder rolling in Alexander City. Yeah, you got a pretty nasty line coming at you, Alex City. It's coming right down 280. You folks in Kellyton, it's knocking on your door. It'll be in Alexander City here in the next 15 or 20 minutes. No, Remy, these are not tornadic storms. Franklin, I'm just not comfortable telling you that just yet. We've got to see what this stuff is going to do that's coming into Clay County. And Lynette, you're just barely catching it. The heavy, well, before I say that, let me go in a little tighter on this. Yeah, the storm really hasn't gotten to you yet. And the heaviest part of it is up there around Gabbettville, back up toward West Point Dam. And that'll probably slide off and miss you. What you're going to get is going to be the extreme southern end of it. Well, Christy, we're having to watch what's happening back over in Clay County and Talladega and now northern Coosa. I think that's going to be more of a Coosa, Tallapoosa, maybe Southern Chambers event. So once I think maybe from Franklin to Wedowee to Talladega north is probably okay now. Let me just do it like this. So if you're north of that line I just put on the screen in East Alabama and West Georgia, you've got some more showers that are going to move across the area, but I don't see anything severe, and there's nothing upstream severe that's moving your way. So I think if you're north of that line I just put on the screen, I think you're okay. If you're south of that line, I'm not ready to call it for you yet. We've even got a few storms popping up down here in Autauga County now. Well, thank you, Diane. I think I have maybe reached my plateau in my career now. Folks have to have permission from me to go to sleep. That's pretty cool. All right, so let me read a couple of things here from the National Weather Service. Severe thunderstorm warning issued by the National Weather Service, Birmingham. Severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from 6 miles south of Ashland to near Kellyton to Dollar, moving to the southeast at 60 miles per hour. That's moving on pretty good with 60 mile per hour wind gust. That's for Clay. Severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from 7 miles west of Ashland to near Goodwater to near Lay Lake Dam, moving southeast at 60 miles per hour. The greatest threat there, 60 mile per hour winds. This is a special weather statement for a line of thunderstorms, are actually a gust front in front of a line of thunderstorms along a line extending from Redbone Crossroads to near Hamilton and moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. And that special weather statement is for Troup, Meriwether, Pike, Upson, Harris, Talbot, Taylor, Crawford, Muskogee, Chattahoochee, Marion, Peach counties in Georgia. And we have a lot of special weather statements issued by the National Weather Service out of Birmingham. Chilton County is under a special weather statement. Tuscaloosa County is under a special weather statement. So is Bibb County. Haven't seen one for Autauga County just yet, but that's probably forthcoming. All right, so the severe thunderstorm warning for Chambers County has been canceled. The strong part of that storm that prompted that warning in Chambers has now moved into Troup, and it's not nearly as strong as it once was. But the core of that storm now in southern Troup County, crossing over I-85 north of the Kia Motor Plant. And that's going to continue going in this particular direction. So it's headed toward Pine Mountain. But it has weakened. So there's a good possibility that Peachtree City will replace this warning in Troup and Northern Harris with a special weather statement. The severe thunderstorm warning, though, for Coosa and Tallapoosa does remain, and also southern Clay from Ashland south. The wind in Valley got pretty loud. Starting to get some wind and rain in northern Pine Mountain. Yeah, Rock Mills, you're good for now. Kind of waiting to see if they're going to and I think this, well, hold up, do that a different way. I think this will probably be the track of this storm coming out of Clay, Coosa, and eventually into Tallapoosa. move the radar back upstream a bit, and we can do this a little differently. Let's go here. Maybe something like so. So I think the worst part of this storm that's dropping down through Coosa, Clay, and Tallapoosa probably will stay out of Randolph for the most part. Wadley, Corinth, maybe Dickard, you catch a little bit of this one. But the meat and potatoes on this storm, at least at the moment, is right there, and then also along the gust front that you see right there. That's where the wind is. And we just got a volume update, and now the meat and potatoes are down here and just north of Clanton. So the heaviest part of this storm now is in western Coosa County and in north central Chilton County. Now, that's not to say that we don't have some strong wind, very heavy rain, thunder, and lightning happening right here, because we do. I'm just talking about the hail part of this storm. If there is any hail, probably over in west central Coosa and north central Chilton County. And then when you see that really dark red, you've got some wind and heavy rain, no doubt. And that's coming into Alexander City as we speak. I'm not ready to call it for Roanoke until we see what this area up here does. I think it's going to do something like that, which means for the most part, it would miss Roanoke. But I'm not ready to make that call. Daviston, yeah, you've got storms on top of you right now, and you're going to catch part of this line that's about to move through. So, again, gusty winds and maybe some small hail possible. Auburn, Opelika, same thing. It's moving in your general direction. The threat here is a 2 out of 5, and we're talking about gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour and maybe some pea-sized hail with some parts of the storm with some heavier hail. Yeah, meat and potatoes. That's where the worst part of the storm is. That's where the meat of the storm is taking place. Well, hello, Equality. Terry Lumpkin, thank you for watching us from Equality. You guys are part of our coverage area. We like to talk about equality and watch you down there. So spread the word. We don't have a whole lot of folks from Equality in here, but spread the word that we do this. We do give you wall-to-wall coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. The wind is terrible in Alexander City. Lots of rain. Lost the chat room while I can see you. What happened? I don't know, Larry. I've still got the chat room. And apparently a lot of other folks do too. Because there's folks still commenting. Is tornado warnings? No. There are no tornado warnings. This is a severe thunderstorm event. Yeah, Hogansville. I'll start looking at some good nights here in a few minutes. Right now, you've still got some stuff in the area. I don't think you're going to see much more, but I'm not quite comfortable in calling it good night just yet. Stump used to call it Verbena. Verbena, Alabama. You got a heavy storm sitting up there around Clanton. It's moving in your general direction. All right, so we do have some counties that have been cleared from the severe thunderstorm watch. In Alabama, 4 counties have been cleared: Calhoun, Cleburne, Jefferson, and St. Clair. So I'll call it good night for Anniston, Oxford, Munford, Ranburne, Heflin. You guys can go to bed. Jacksonville, Moody, Pell City, go to bed. Pencil eraser-sized hail in Casita. Not sure I've ever heard that terminology, but I understand what you're saying. Thank you, Brittany. Thunder and lightning in Cragford. The wind is all up in the air in Hughley. There you go, Cody. Windy over in Augusta, Georgia. Amber's confirming that she can still see chat. Hailing near Hillaby Creek in Tallapoosa County. Hey, Susie. What about Alaska? Yeah, okay. Fire in LaGrange due to lightning strike. No. And so, look, I get one person who posts and says there's a fire due to a lightning strike, and the very next person asks if LaGrange can go to sleep. You've still got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect in Troup County. Now, having said all of that, in fairness to you, the storm is south of LaGrange, and it's moving away from LaGrange. But look at all of this. That is moving toward Troup County. So I would not be comfortable in calling it for LaGrange just yet. Bruce, are you asking where I am located? If you are, I'm in northeast Georgia in southwest White County, just north of Gainesville, Georgia. I'm originally from East Alabama and West Georgia, as in broadcast radio and public safety in Randolph County for 22 plus years, and moved to Georgia about 13, 14 years ago. And with technology the way it is, why not? You guys deserve it down there, and we can provide it for you. And I know the area like the back of my hand. So that's what we're doing. Power out on 22, 2 miles from Dickert. I'm assuming that's back toward Roanoke, Miss Dottie? House on fire on Lakewood Drive in LaGrange, and also a tree on fire on Roanoke Road and Paddle Wheel Drive. Yeah, I think it's going to be sunny in Roanoke tomorrow. Now, I got to be careful with those phone apps. Those things are automated. It's a computer. It's AI. It's not human. And, I mean, they're certainly a lot more accurate than they used to be, but I wouldn't believe everything I see off of a phone app as far as the forecast is concerned. Thank you, Hillary. Power out in Heflin on Highway 46, power out in Dickert. Chrislyn, no, the fires start from lightning strikes. A bolt of lightning is millions, billions of volts of electricity and will, in 99.9% of the case, if it strikes your house, you're going to have a fire if it's a direct hit. Power is flickering inequality. The green triangles are hail markers. That's where the computer thinks that there may be hail taking place. See one there in southern Troup County right there. That's a hail marker. But I'll tell you that if there is any hail in Troup, it's probably just crossed into Harris, and it's very small. And there's a little spot right there just south of Amity Park. I don't see hail indications in this storm nearly like what we saw earlier. As a matter of fact, none of these storms, from a hail perspective, look as strong as they did earlier this evening. There's one area that could be getting some hail there, and that is headed toward equality. And then we also have some hail maybe just east of Alexander City. And that's going to be moving that direction, and then right over equality with the southern Coosa part of the storm. So we only have actually two severe thunderstorms affecting our coverage area right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Coosa, and Tallapoosa. And we just lost that severe thunderstorm warning for southern Troup County. So we are going to stay with you until we have no more severe thunderstorm warnings. That's our criteria for going live. Severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings, or winter storm watches or warnings. But we don't have much, even though it feels like it out there, we don't have much chance of seeing snow tonight. So, yeah, at this point, let me see if I can do some good nights here. I know they just cleared Cleburne and Calhoun, but it's still showing up. We'll take that back off. Cleburne, Calhoun, so, Anniston, Oxford, Ranburne, Carroll County, you can go to bed. Talladega, you can go to bed. Sylacauga, Childersburg, you can go to bed. I'll even call it for Ashland and Lineville. Wedowee, Good night. I'm not ready to call it for Roanoke just yet. I'm not ready to call it for Wadley. But Wedowee, Woodland, Franklin, Noonan, Carrollton, Bowden, Ranburne, Heflin, Oxford, Anniston, Talladega, Lineville, Ashland, Sylacauga, we can say good night. I think probably in the next 5 or 10 we can call it for Roanoke. Tammy, you've got Tallapoosa question mark. Are you talking about Tallapoosa County, Alabama, or Tallapoosa, Georgia? If you're talking about Tallapoosa, Georgia, are you talking about Tallapoosa County, Alabama? No, but you've still got storms in Tallapoosa County. You've got a heavy cell there between Alexander City and Budston, just north of Dadeville. The storm's just now moving into Dadeville. It's moving to the east-southeast. We could probably say good night to Newsite and Daviston, but nothing any further south than that. Yeah, this backside of this stuff up here in Roanoke, we got to get that through Standing Rock before we can say goodnight to you. Nickel-sized hail in Clacksville, Roxton area. Is that current, Jennifer, or was that earlier? Five minutes ago, so that's current. Okay. I don't see any indication of hail, but I'm not arguing the point. You're seeing it; it's happening. So, I mean, what that tells me is that some of these red areas that don't really show indications of hail could certainly have some hail embedded in them. So, anywhere you see red, you could have hail tonight. Hogansville, yes. Good night. Yeah, 5 points. We got to get this through your county before I can tell you good night. And it's just now coming into the 5 points area. No, it was not a good night for Roanoke just yet. Hang in there. We're not far away. See, the eastern side of that line that's sweeping down into Coosa and Tallapoosa really hasn't developed much. Greenville, yes. Good night, Greenville. Chambers, no, I can't call it for Chambers just yet. I cannot call it for Valley, Alabama just yet. Just heavy rainfall at the moment for Budston. You've got some hail probably to your south, but right now, just some heavy rain, gusty winds. Yeah, you just had a stroke of lightning just north of you, Daviston, right up there in the edge of Randolph County. That's why I can't tell Wadley and Roanoke good night just yet. We got some lightning up there. Though I don't think we're looking at anything else severe. I think once this line passes your location, I think we're good to go. And that line is not as strong as it once was. I'm going to, let's see here. You got some rain. You maybe have a little thunder coweta. You got that bright red stuff you see there just east of Talladega, north of Ashland. That'll probably come through Coweta in another hour or so. But right now, it's not severe. And I really don't anticipate that it will go severe. So let me say this. This is exactly why you need a NOAA weather radio sitting beside your bed. If you tell me you've got a NOAA weather radio, I would have already cleared some of you because you would have that radio, and even if I was wrong in clearing you, it would wake you up. You got to get a NOAA weather radio, folks. You got to go by Stevens Home Furniture in Roanoke, Alabama tomorrow and get a NOAA weather radio. They're $45, but it's well worth it because you have peace of mind. You can go to bed. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stay up all night. I mean, in a really serious situation, you probably should. But in a situation like tonight, I mean, as long as you've got a NOAA weather radio and it's working, there's no reason why you couldn't go to bed. Get that NOAA weather radio. How long have I been tracking weather, Mike? I go back to when I was 13 years old. And that's you're trying to get me to tell my age, aren't you? Yeah. Let's call it about 45 years. Maybe a little longer than that. Actually, I have been tracking weather for a very, very long time. That's cool, Kevin. Firefighter up here. Where are you a firefighter? Thank you, Scott Brand. Okay, so you're a firefighter in Coweta. Cool. I got you. I did 16 years and left as a lieutenant over in Randolph County, over in Roanoke, in fire services. I'm an emergency manager now up in White County, Georgia. Hey, Mike, thank you. Mike says I don't look over 25. I like that. I'm a little bit north of 25, though, Mike. I wouldn't call it in the clear. Wait a minute. All right, so here's the deal, folks. We no longer have any severe thunderstorm warnings in the state of Alabama or in Georgia in our coverage area. Let me check that. Let me look at something here. I think we may have I'm not even sure that's valid. Let me let this loop through, because I think I've got some good news. Producer Tracy, easy. Okay, yeah, that is still valid down there, and that is between Dublin and Perry. That's southeast of Macon, near Warner Robins. We have a severe thunderstorm warning down there, but that's way outside of our coverage area. So in our coverage area, we do not have any warnings. So that is a good sign, and that is an indication that this line of thunderstorms that's moving down into southern Tallapoosa and down into central Chambers, no longer severe. This is an indication that they're weakening. We do have a special weather statement for the south end of that line, and we also have a special weather statement to the south east of Lynette that would get the Pine Mountain area and down into Harris County. But we've just lost the warnings for Coosa and Tallapoosa and Chambers. We have no warnings in effect now, so these storms have weakened over the last 30 minutes or so. So with that, we're going to end our live broadcast. We've been wall to wall with you now for about 2.5 hours as this stuff moved through East Alabama. If you have obviously you're good to go to bed. We have no warnings, but this is a setup that you hear me say this all the time. And so, you know me, I'm going to take an opportunity here to step up to the podium and preach just a few moments. No, we have no warnings in effect right now. I don't anticipate there being any more warnings. There is certainly still some weather out there, heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and maybe even some gusty winds, but it's below severe limits. So you got to have a NOAA weather radio. This is a prime example of why, because we're about to end our live broadcast, and you need to be able to get notification if something were to happen once we stop broadcasting. So that's why you got to have a NOAA weather radio. Midland is the Cadillac of NOAA weather radios. Their current model, and that's pretty much the only one you can buy now, is a Midland radio made by Midland. You can get them at Stevens Furniture in Roanoke, Alabama. You got to go by there. You've been seeing it on the screen all night long. You can stop by and get that NOAA weather radio tomorrow so that you will be ready to go the next time we have severe weather. Stevens Home Furniture. It's right there on the screen, 863-7391. Stop by there and see them tomorrow and get your NOAA weather radio. You know, people always wish they had one when we have severe weather, and then when severe weather's over, they're like, oh, that was probably the last round of severe weather we'll have this year. I'll get one sooner or later. And then here comes the next round of storms, and you still don't have one. You got to have a NOAA weather radio, so be sure you get that. All right, so we have no more warnings. So that's the end of our coverage for tonight. Folks, thank you for joining me. There have been a lot of you in here tonight, and I greatly appreciate that. We'll be here for you every single time we have severe weather. that threatens East Alabama and West Georgia. I ask that you consider supporting us if you can. There are links at the top of this video. There are links pinned to the top of Dr. Don's weather page on how you can support us. One of the best things you can do now is subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather on Facebook. It's 99 cents a month. That's less than the cost of 1 cup of coffee for the entire month. And that helps us out tremendously. So consider subscribing to Dr. Don's Weather on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. That's free for the moment. And that way you get guaranteed to get a push notification when we go live. And, there's a lot of different ways you can support us. And you'll find links to all of that on Dr. Don's Weather page and at the top of every one of our videos. Hope you all stay safe tonight. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll see you back in here tomorrow with your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather. Good night, folks.